Paktika, where hundreds of homes are now in ruins. Our reporter Zia Shahreyar from the BBC's Persian service covers Afghanistan and joins us now. Zia, welcome to Five Live Drive. So what can you tell us? What's the latest you're hearing? I don't know whether Zia can hear us. We're going to try again, try and establish the line to Zia. Zia
Can you hear me
Shahreyar.
clear?
Yes, I can hear you now. Wonderful. Listen, what's
Yes.
the latest you can give us on this? It sounds pretty devastating.
Yes, it's very destructive. The latest figures we've got is around more than 1,000 people killed and around 2,000 people injured in this really huge earthquake in Eastern Afghanistan. The most affected provinces are Paktika and Khost, two provinces in Eastern Afghanistan in the border with Pakistan, and particularly in the province of Paktika, a very remote province. A lot of villages have been destroyed. They're talking around 33 villages in five districts. And the local officials we talked are saying are almost sure that the figures will go up because some of the remote areas have not been reached so far. The international organizations are also sending help, but the aspect, or should I say, the real image of the catastrophe is still not clear, though we know that at least 1,000 people have been killed in this earthquake currently.
And I guess if you could paint a picture for us, if you can, Zia, of the kind of conditions, the kind of homes these people were living in, what kind of protection
Yeah,
would they have
yeah.
had? What kind of notice would they have had?
Yes, that's and I mean the worst thing is that it's happened during late or early morning of the Wednesday today. Really, everybody was sleeping, and so the first thing is that so it caught up people during sleeping. Many people were not ready at all, and then the houses in these parts of Afghanistan, mostly in other rural areas as well, are made of mud, very unstable and not really ready for an earthquake with the magnitude of 6.1, which is quite huge. And so all of these things, and obviously the problem of reaching these areas, helping the people, have made the catastrophe much more huge. We know Afghanistan is already facing one of its biggest human crises after all the political and economic turmoil in the last few months. But this is absolutely adding to the tragedy in that country, and a lot of people are really, really suffering.
And just remind us why, I mean, clearly the Taliban are back in control, but why the country, we hear often that thousands of people, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands are on the verge of starvation because there is no economy really. There's nothing up and running on its feet in that sense. Just tell us, remind us here, why is that?
Yeah, this is true. In 1 year ago, 10 months ago, on the 15th of August, when Taliban took over Afghanistan and the previous government fell down, the international community, the Americans, withdrew from Afghanistan, and Afghanistan economy was very much independent on the international aid. So the new government, the Taliban government, is not recognized by any country in the world, including the United Nations, and all of Afghanistan's assets are frozen by the international community, particularly the US and the UN, and also the international aid and assistance reduced considerably. Should I say it reduced to 10% of what it was that Afghanistan was receiving because of the Taliban domination. So the country was already suffering hugely because of these particular reasons, and millions of people are in hunger. The UN estimates that Afghanistan has lost its IMF actually and World Bank has lost its more than 60% of its GDP in the last 10 months. Hundreds of thousands of people are jobless. The women are all almost sitting at home. And so this is a real catastrophe.
Thank you so much for the update, Zia. We really appreciate it. Zia Shahreyar from the BBC's Persian service who covers Afghanistan. Let's